legacy that's long. That's the legend of the Armstrongs.
Welcome back to Oh You Didn't Know with me, the Casio Kid, and the D-O-double-G Road Dog Brian James. What is up, my man?
I was going to say, oh, you didn't know, but you did it better than I can, so I won't do that now. But when you said it, actually, something ran through my mind. How many people have said that? You know what I mean? And said it like their own way, said it like trying to sound like me.
Know?
Like, yeah, like how many people
I said it to my teachers.
Yeah, a lot of people have said that. But just when you did it, I thought, I wonder if there was a count, a hand count. Yes,
Incredible.
You had one. You had your hand up. Yes, you had your hand up. Anyway, I don't know. I would love to see on Twitter people sending videos of them doing just the first two parts. Oh, you didn't know? Your ass better call somebody.
That's
and we will
what we
pick a
need.
wiener, which is the first one across the finish line in a Latino foot race. And we will put them on Dead Gum.
What?
We'll give them
show.
some. We'll give them,
Put 'em on
we'll
the
give 'em
show.
a medal. We'll put them on the show. We'll give them some cookies, some white chocolate macadamia nut cookies.
Oh, come on, man.
Yeah.
Come on.
Come
By
on,
the way,
Eileen. Oh, I swear.
see what I mean?
Yeah, go ahead.
By the way, did you get any cupcakes? Because
I did. So there was a big story about the cupcakes. Yes, I did confront Cupcake Lindsay. I think her
Okay.
name's Lindsay, right?
yes.
Or was it Ashley? There's
Wait,
two.
yeah.
And I confused them, and I'm sorry about that, ladies, but if I get your names right, my wife will probably beat me up. So I'm going to confuse it from now on. But a Cupcake lady, I ran into her, and she told me they would not let her bring the items through security and get it on. She called ahead to see if she could bring cupcakes. That's how committed she was to accomplishing the mission of bringing fat people cupcakes, that she called ahead to try to ensure its safety. And it was an issue of national security that she could not bring these cupcakes on the plane. So thank you, TSA, for doing your job.
They saved everybody,
You saved me
including us from having to wear diabetic
6,000 calories.
Saved us from an insulin spike.
Yeah, that's all. If I get diabetes for real, though, I'm going to wear one of them things on your arm that you just check it on. Because
That's the
yeah.
move.
That's cool, actually, I think.
All right, here we go. We are going to talk music in wrestling. If they know anything
Whoa.
about your career, they know you are heavily involved in music, my friend.
Well, I'm so let me clear something up right now.
Okay.
Well, I mean, hey, we got the time. Let me clear this up. I am a music lover. I love music. Before I do this podcast, I literally listen to some songs and sing them to myself into my headphones to get ready for the song, to get in a positive frame of mind. And I'll tell you, I sing a lot of Ray Charles.
Woo!
I sing some Panic at the Disco. What?
Really?
But
I did not see that coming.
that dude's got a great voice. I'm a voice guy because I fancy myself, and this is what I wanted to clarify. I fancy myself a singer. Now I am not a professional singer. I do have rhythm, and I think I can carry a tune. But I'm not a professional singer by any means. I'm just like everybody else who likes to sing and likes music. But I've had the opportunity on several different occasions to actually go into a studio and record. And I think that's what a lot of people just lack, is that opportunity. There's probably a lot of great singers out there. You know, all of a sudden you have a couple of TV shows where you audition to sing and there's a million great singers come out of nowhere. And it's just because they don't have that opportunity to let their voice be heard out there. And I think social media is changing that too. But look, I love music. I love singing. I think there's something supernatural and spiritual to music. And if you can listen to Santana and tell me that I'm a liar, then I got two words for you. You. I censored myself.
That's a good move. We're going to talk all music. We're going to do classic real songs that were used as entrance themes. We're going to hit classic entrance themselves. Who has the best music in wrestling now and back then? Because look, let's face it. Music and wrestling go hand in hand. It's all the theater of it.
Amen.
Look,
Amen. It's just like a rock concert, right? And rock and wrestling has been around forever. We even did a rock and wrestling with the Armstrongs that you could probably, if you dug deep enough, find some, right before I joined the military, find some footage of us singing, because my family they would have a band, and my family would go up there and we would sing like we were the stinking Armstrong 5, and I guarantee, my hair was all naturally curly. I was 18 years old. We did that a couple of times.
What songs? What songs?
Oh, like Poke Salad Annie by Elvis. You know what I mean? Like
Gator Got Your Granny.
Yes. Oh, yes. Because everybody could chime in. You know what I mean? Soul man. I'm a soul man. I'm a soul man. Got what I got. Anyway, we would all sing, we would all dance. My dad would come out there and dance, and it was cool. In Birmingham, they loved the Armstrongs.
We did love it in Birmingham.
Yeah.
Did you ever wrestle in Gadsden, Alabama?
Yeah, 100 times. Not as many times as my father or brothers did, but I've wrestled there a bunch of times.
I have to. I have a old. I was seeing if it was in here, an old Gadsden. That's where I'm from, Gadsden, Alabama, originally, and then moved to Birmingham. And I'll have to check. Somebody sent me an real old wrestling poster from Gadsden.
Gadsden.
Love to see if your dad's on there.
I guarantee you there's an Armstrong on there.
Somewhere. There's an Armstrong on every old wrestling poster.
He rang the bell or he something.
Well, all right, let's get into it. Let's get into the music and wrestling, hand in hand. Like you said, always been together. We've always heard the stories, Sergeant Slaughter, Gorgeous George, the Freebirds, all being, quote, the first to use entrance music. Dog, who was the first person you remember having entrance music?
Well, look, I'm sure by the time I was that age, a lot of people were using it. But the most memorable one for me was my father, who came out to Bad to the Bone. You know what I mean? And that was in the South during the era of Continental Southeastern Championship Wrestling. You knew Bullet Bob came out to Bad to the Bone. And so that was the first one that was impactful to me on a real personal level. But look, I also loved when I think it was like the tag teams would always come out to Sharp Dressed Man, you know, the Fantastics, or there were 50 different babyface tag teams prior to the Rockers and the Rock and Roll Express that all came out to that kind of music. So look, I think I came out to in Memphis when I started working in USWA. Do you remember the song? Well, I came out to two songs. I came out to one song in Memphis and one song in Louisville because I felt the crowds were different and I liked the crowds. In Louisville, I would come out to "Come on, ride this train, go ride it, come on, ride this train."
1990 quad, baby.
No,
1990 quad.
Is a choo-choo train. Oh, I love that song. I still love that song. But I would come out to that, and then no, I'm sorry. In Memphis, I would come out of that. In Louisville, I would come out to, what's the song? It's,
you better think of it.
I know. It's
you're going to drive yourself
Molly Hatchet
insane.
song. Molly Hatchet.
Flirting with Disaster.
I am. Well, I'll think about it. It's
Flirting with Disaster.
With Disaster.
Is that it?
I don't think so. I don't think so, but I'll think about it in a minute. It'll come to me.
What they have? Did they have Gator Country?
That Gator. So do you have another? Keep going, because you're going to get
I know.
there. You're going to get there any minute.
Well, they only had like 6. I mean, I got a bunch of their vinyl,
but it's one of those.
What is it? Flirting with Disaster, The Rambler, Bloody Reunion, Satisfied Man. It's got to be Flirting with Disaster, doesn't it? That was their biggest jam.
It probably is. I'm just old, stupid.
Just old.
Well, I'm stupid anyway.
Power Play, Lady Luck. Stone in Your Heart.
Think it was.
There Goes the Neighborhood. I mean, all their singles.
I ain't never heard of any of them.
It's got to be.
It's got to be Flirting with Disaster. Yeah, it's got to be. Flirting with Disaster.
Yeah, it's got to be that.
I got my sights set straight ahead, but I ain't sure what I'm after.
By the way, were you ever a vinyl guy?
No, but my daughter is right now.
Oh yeah, it's
my daughter, and she's got a bunch of really cool albums that are are really old, you know what I mean? But they're new to vinyl, because they came out at a time when vinyl didn't exist.
Molly Hatchet's album covers were epic. They had
that's the one I remember, the one on the horse, and oh my God, you're just like Jiminy Christmas. Yeah, but that was so cool, right?
Oh, it was the coolest.
It was like Kiss before Kiss. Their covers were anyway.
So as far as you can remember, your dad was coming out to bat. There wasn't like you don't remember a discussion of here's what it's happening. You were just young enough to where that's what happened.
Yes, that's just happened, and I thought, oh my God, I love this song. You know what I mean? And
when did you start thinking
I still
about?
Love the song
because I think we all do it now. You either hey, this would be my wrestling theme, or this would be my relief pitcher theme.
Yeah,
or batting music. You
yeah.
think about it when you're growing up. When did you start running through it? Did you ever start running through it?
I never, because look, I also, while I thought the song was cool, I knew it was just a placekeeper till you got to the ring and the bell rang.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I don't know how I knew that or why, but I knew that there was something more than playing some cool music that you needed to do to keep people's attention.
Right.
Is it an identifier? Is it a descriptor? Like now when that music hits, you know exactly who that is, and we can talk about some examples of that, but I think we all know, what they are and who they are. But so it's an identifier, but there's so much more to getting over and relating to the people than playing somebody else's cool song that was already on the top 10 list. You know what I mean? Like that's not going to help you get over. It's just a cool addition. And so I don't know. Look, I don't know how I knew that or why I knew that, but I just figured there's more to it. You got to entertain them when I can't depend on somebody else's art to entertain them while I get to the ring. You know what I mean?
Do you think the music is? Do you think it's more for the fans than the actual wrestler? Do you think that's the case, or is it kind of hand in hand?
So look, I definitely think nowadays the wrestler has way more input. I would argue more than they should have into their music, I'll actually claim some responsibility for that because I was in that process down at NXT and I didn't manage it well, and so I feel like there's look, your music is your music, and I would tell them this too as we were going along. It's kind of like the philosophy that I just laid out for you a minute ago. It's not what plays when you go to the ring that's going to get you over. It's not how many times you stop and do a different pose at different stages in your entrance and / music that's going to get you over. You're going to have to do that all by yourself. And it's when the bell rings and when you have microphone time, that's when you're going to get yourself over. Your gear don't matter. Your goddamn music don't matter. Your poses don't matter. And catchphrases might help relate to you.
Dog, the nights are getting longer, but the breeze isn't the only thing that's getting stiff. That's right. This episode is sponsored by Bluechew. Guys, we all know the confidence can take you far in life. That's especially true in the bedroom, especially when it's time to step up to the plate. That's where Bluechew comes in. We've been talking about music. Music goes great in the bedroom. Also, how about a little Bluechew to help seal the deal? Bluechew is a unique online service that delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis, but in chewable tablets and at a fraction of the cost. So you can take them anytime, day or night, so you can plan ahead or be ready whenever an opportunity arises. The process is simple. Sign up at BlueChew.com. Consult with one of their licensed medical providers, and once you're approved, you'll receive your prescription within days. The best part is it's done all online. No visits to the doctor's office, no awkward conversations, no waiting in line at the pharmacy, and Bluechew's tablets are made in the USA and prepared and shipped direct to your door in a discreet package. With Bluechew, men everywhere are excited to see the postman because when your package has arrived, your package has arrived. Look, they always say first impressions are important. What about lasting impressions? Yep, that's right. Bluechew is for you. So if your tool needs an upgrade, head to BlueChew.com. If you can benefit from extra confidence when it's time to perform, chew it and do it. Have better sex. And we've got a special deal for our listeners. Try Bluechew free when you use our promo code DOGG at checkout. Just pay $5 shipping. That's Bluechew.com, promo code DOGG, D-O-G-G, to receive your first month free. Visit Bluechew.com for more details and important safety information. And we thank Bluechew for sponsoring Oh, You Didn't Know.
And I only said that because I used one, you know what I mean, to kind of connect. But you have to have a real connection with the audience, and it's not a musical connection. There might be, once your music gets established and you get comfortable with it and you come out. I just feel like you kind of hear the music. For me, you hear the music and then you accommodate your entrance and your positioning and your posting up here and posing. All that goes around the music to me, not the other way around. And a lot of people get caught up with, well, I want to come to here and then we have something to do, and you go here. You go, no, let's hear the music and then we'll feel that out. And because I do think you have to like your music so that you're kind of into it a little bit. So I do think, hey, here's some music we made for you. If you don't like the vibe of it, cool, we'll change the music. But if you don't like this one part because you feel like it should go higher there, like, okay, now you're friggin' Beethoven and Luthez. So
Mutt
anyway.
You're not Mutt Lang. You're trying to get to the ring.
Yeah. And again, that's just, is music a huge part of wrestling? Of course. We covered that at the top, of course. And I'm not negating that here. All I'm saying is, from a personality standpoint, from a character's perspective, you got to get over all by yourself. You can't rely on anything else to help you. Then you'll get some things to help you, and that'll be a bonus, but that's not, you can't start from there. You can't start from, man, we're going to pretty me up so much. You can't hate, can't help but to love me. And we've seen that fail time and time again. So do the wrestlers, is it for the wrestlers or the fans? I think it does have to be both. I think at the end of the day, it has to be both. The wrestler has to be cool with it. And I think if the wrestler's cool with it, and that's representative of their character, I think the fans, and it's a character they like, I think the fans will approve of it too, All
right, let's touch on some of these that we're kind of flirting around because we know we're going to eventually get into.
Shamo. Sorry.
Whoa.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. I love
you. Shamoned all over us.
I love Michael Jackson.
You
I love Michael Jackson.
Just saying.
I know. Someone got in my eye.
You Shamo. You got to prep us if you're going to.
I don't feel real good. Shamo.
Anybody ever come out to that?
I said no, but I would. I'm starting with a mirror in the mirror. It would be a horrible entrance music, but I love the song.
Not really the vibe you're wanting, yeah.
It's so apropos too for everybody, especially today. And if you're on Twitter, you need to put your phone down, go in and literally look in the mirror and punch yourself in the face one time and get off of there. Sorry, just kidding. But think about it. Literally the platform runs on negativity. It runs on a negative algorithm. So anything that literally lives off of negativity is of the devil. Hello.
Well, be sure to follow us, Brian R.D. James, at the Casio Kid, at You Didn't Know Pod.
Hey, it's the devil I know.
Well, we talked about, let's hit this first. We talked about now, everybody gets their own intro because, bottom line is it's easier to make a song in-house than pay some rights to somebody. But what are some of your favorite iconic real songs that went well with wrestlers? Example, Iron Man hit for the Road Warriors. Absolute legendary. And
I will never forget that. And I did not listen to that kind of music growing up. So it was like, oh, Lord, that's, my mom would have said like, oh, we don't listen to that, honey. But man, when I heard that and here they come out roaring. I found a picture today of my son when he was 5 years old with the tag team title on and the LOD shoulder pads with spikes on, standing in front of my fireplace. What a great picture. But yeah, those look, they're iconic. The Road Warriors were iconic for everyone, but me personally too. I love the Warriors. So that song will go down I
Incredible.
am Iron Man. Like, holy mackerel, man. That's just gives me goosebumps to this day. And then here they come out, you know, and and even that when that song comes on, I don't think about, oh, Ozzy. I think Road Warriors. You know what I mean? That's just how it hits me. And so, yeah, that one was very specific. I want to say, and I get these people messed up because there are so many of them. The fabulous ones are the Fantastics. And I don't remember which one of them came out to like every girl crazy about a sharp dressed man, and they came out with bow ties on and like sleeveless tails and you know what I mean? Like it was, yeah, it was very cool for that time. And every one of those teams were young, hot, baby-faced teams that the ladies loved, and the men thought they could beat up, and then found out different. But it was, man, that's what I remember about that kind of stuff. I remember, you know, Flair Forever has come out to the
Space
whatever
Odyssey.
that is. Yeah, and so I remember stuff like that, but there's not too many that really stuck out to me. Because look, when I first started watching, so that very first impression, some guys still came out with no music. You know what I mean? They just, oh my gosh, here he comes, ladies and gentlemen. Big Bob Brown from Tuscaloosa, Alabama. He's coming to us, going to face Bigfoot tonight here on, you know what I mean? So they didn't, music wasn't a big thing up front. You know what I mean? It did become a huge part of wrestling, but I think it also is a huge part of, just society as a whole and culture. You know what I mean? Music is a lot more of a have its finger on the pulse of society and culture than wrestling does. I would say wrestling now has a little bit of a niche audience, while music is still still selling albums. You know what I mean? So,
can you imagine now somebody walk out at WWE and with no music, just turn that corner and start walking down the ramp like slowly, waving?
Yes,
how's it going?
I don't remember. I don't remember specifically which character this was, but we did that one time on SmackDown, and I was like, it should be that way because this person is a nobody, and they should just walk down the ramp really weird. And I forget, I'd love to.
I'm happy to be here, guys. Appreciate it.
I'll ask Johnny Russo. He'll remember.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
how
and American.
It is American. See, I was getting ahead of myself because I was thinking the real American. Hulk Hogan's music. Now, see, that's
that's one of the ones I remember, and I didn't even watch WWF when I was growing up. We didn't get it. They popped in Sunshine where I live.
In my head, that's a real song, though. That I don't think it's as famous as it is now with his theme song. Does that make sense? Like, I mean, it was a hit. He obviously picked it, but that song's kind of cheesy until you see Hogan walk out. You know what I'm saying? Then you're like,
oh yeah,
he's a real American,
you're like,
guys.
That's Hogan, man. That's
right. If you just listen to it now, you're like, what am I
fight
doing?
For what's right. And now, like the only character that might work for would be John Cena. Like it would be, because it's almost like an army commercial. You know what I mean? Fight for what's right. Fight for what's right. Put your camis on and hold a gun. You're gonna go to other countries and shoot for fun. You are a sick, twisted individual who couldn't get a real job. Yeah, I'm just kidding. You can cut all that crap. I was talking about myself there, not anybody else.
We all have our reasons.
Yeah, I'm fighting some demons still, as we can, as is evident every week on this show.
So, what is it about a song like that opening riff for Real American, or Warriors drum beat as soon as it hits right out of the gate, or Randy Savage's Pomp and Circumstance?
Yep.
The beginning is really important for a lot
very
of these.
important. Very important. And look, that's what we talked about. After your music gets established and your character gets established, your music is then a descriptor, an identifier, an alert almost to the fan. Hey, this guy's coming out. And as soon as you hear that first beat, or the first beats, to your point about Warrior's drum beats, you knew it was Warrior. As soon as you hear, if you smell, you know what I mean? You knew it was Rock. If you hear that glass break, you knew it was Austin. If you hear down, 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 you knew it was us. And so there's a lot that are, I think, when, like I love For Now, we talked about, that's all in the past. for now one I love, and he's been missing for a while, but Randy Orton's is I hear voices. You know what I mean? But it's that first thing you know right away. It's Randy Orton. And so yeah, the first part is very important, and it's almost like the rest of it could just be like blah 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 blah. You know, like Charlie Brown's teachers, the choir at Charlie Brown's school, because you that's a detention getter, man. That first thing is I keep saying identifier, but I think that's it, a descriptor. Like I know exactly who it is when that sound hits, and you want to be in a position where it's that recognizable, because when you get down the totem pole a little bit, you start going like, what does this music sound like again? You know what I mean? So it's all, I do think that's just to show you that it, if you're thinking like the music's going to get you over, that's the tail wagging the dog, because Randy gets over, then his music is identifiable. Rock gets over, then his entrance music is identified. You know what I mean? It's not like I remember that crap when you're mid-Carter. I remember it when you're over. And so that's why I think it's, you know, thinking about your music too heavily is putting the cart before the horse, in my opinion.
I'm not trying to do it to Barry guys, so I'm not going to say a specific name, but I know there's guys and gals that come to mind where their music got over. And like you said, eventually after whatever weeks or months or whatever, you're like, well, give us something now. I mean, we're singing your song. We got hot for you on the song.
So go ahead and say who you're talking about.
No, because I don't mean as a negative. No, he didn't get over.
It's not their fault. It's not that individual's fault that their song was really catchy and they weren't.
Had a great career. My first one, or some of the ones that come, is what's it? Bobby Roode, Glorious.
Oh yeah,
everybody sang Glorious.
Yeah.
And not that he didn't get over, but I'm saying
no, you're right. But his was, in a way, to me, the song was so over that
huge.
It was unfair to him. You know what I mean? Like it was. There's no way, nothing I could do could
he had
be
to follow
bigger
his
than
theme
that.
song.
Yes, and that's it. And that's a tough act to follow, because that not only was the song great, but the entrance lights and everything.
Incredible.
It was fantastic. And look, I'll tell you who that is. That's Hunter. That's Hunter all day long. He has a vision like that, man. The Karrion Kross entrance, me and him worked on that for hours. And people, just all these entrances that you've seen. He has a vision for things, and look, he just, I'm honored that he brings me in and gives credence to my ideas with him on that. But man, he's got a great vision on stuff like that. But I know we're talking about entrances, and I went over into visually. We're talking about audible entrance music, but the music and that look and all that has to go together. You know what I mean? And it has to personify the character first and foremost. You know what I mean? Like if you got Dolph Ziggler coming out to some, I am Iron Man. You know what I mean? Like that don't make no sense. He ain't a big dude. He ain't a bad killer. He's just Dolph Ziggler, who's a great wrestler and a great athlete. You know what I mean? So it has to represent the character.
Yeah, and I
love music.
Again, I love Bobby Roode. I didn't mean that to put him down. I just meant his song.
Yeah, no, I get that. Look, another one I thought of. Another one I thought of right away was Fandango, and Fandango. Perfect. Everybody was doing the Fandango, and he even beat Jericho on the thing. I think. Look, and that's not Kurt's fault either. Kurt's a hell of a worker. I think we didn't. Book him right per se. I don't think we did enough with the getting to know that character. And he wasn't a real dancer. If that would have helped a little bit, if he, you know what I mean, if he was a real dancer. But he's a great guy. I love the dude. I would live with him because he's that funny. He's that dry-witted, and he's a great guy to be around. That's why I loved when we finally got him and started using him some on SmackDown in the fashion files and stuff with him and Corbin Burnson. No, I don't know.
Oh, the
Tyler
Fashion
Breeze.
Police?
Tyler Breeze, yeah, the Fashion
Police. Yeah, they're writing. I've got one of their ticket books in my desk.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, I hand it out at work.
I love it. That's
awesome.
awesome.
Such a mark. All right.
Me too.
Is entrance music? You kind of talked about, hey, it kind of got away from you in NXT. You were part of that deal, but Do you think, I don't know if this is the right word, but is it a lost art these days? Or is it, like you said, they're almost worried too much about it?
Yeah, no, I think it's a bit of both. They are definitely worried too much about stuff like that. And I'll tell you why. Look, it's not nobody's fault. You don't know what you don't know. What they watch on TV is, hey, I love so and so. I love so and so's music. Now I'm going to come up with cool music too, so I can be like so and so. You don't want to start that way at all. You want to start like, I'm going to be the first me, and I'm going to hear some music that I go, yeah, that's cool. Play that. Or I go, no,
Right.
no, 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 yes, no, no. Blazing Saddles people will know that reference. But you pick the music. You know what I mean? You pick your music that yeah, I can come out to that. And then whatever that is plays, and you go out to it and you present yourself and you have to do it all. The rest of it's just cannon fodder, man. I gotta connect. If I can do it to a song that I jive with, cool. That's what I'll do. Now I feel like and again, this was part of I was new at managing people, and especially younger talent. And look, it's no secret that younger people today are more, I don't want to use the word entitled because that's not what I mean, but we've had prosperity and peace here in America for a good period of time now. So everything's just come really easy to everybody. So they just think, oh yeah, I want new music and I want to do this. And I was, well, we want to give you that, but there's also these other 400 people that we have to give that to.
Yeah.
So we can't spend, 6 months coming up with the right song that you approve of. We come up with one that you're okay with and we roll. And if you get over like Rover down the road and your song is a million seller on, whatever the crap it's called, then we'll talk about, well, you want to rap at the top of it? You want to say something at the top of it? You know what I mean? Like we can, but I don't think you should be thinking about that from the start is all I'm keep going back to. It sounds like I'm burying the aspect of the music, but I'm not doing that at all. I just think it's not what a talent should be focused on. And they are too focused on it right now.
Well, like we touched on, you've touched on it in past episodes, how much you appreciate the Acclaimed in AEW.
Yeah.
And you talk about an entrance that's, that's their own. They made it their own.
Yeah, they made it their own. I would give them a few tweaks, and I've talked about that too. But I'll tell you another one that I so strongly approve of, and it kind of makes me have different feelings because of who it is and how it is. But Judas by Jericho, like, see, that's a real song. That is his entrance song. And so that's cool because it's him singing. He got it over. And so that's him. That's his artistry. You know what I mean? No matter how you slice it, that's Chris Jericho.
It's unmatched. They sing it without the music, and we have to sit
awesome.
through it every time.
It's awesome. Sitting through it every time is the issue for me too.
Well,
I don't, but but it's a good catchy song, and he sings it, and he comes out to it, and so that makes sense. Buying Cult of Personality for CM Punk makes zero sense to me. Yes, that was his theme song for a minute, but why? It's just
whatever song they would have picked for his return would have worked.
Would have been fine. It would have been CM Punk's new song.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Like it was, and they could have found one in a music library that was close enough to where we can either copy this or rip it off a little bit, change it a little bit and own it, or we can just use that one and pay the library cost. You know what I mean? Like it's, I don't know. I don't think that one, the Cult of Personality, I don't know if that defines him in my mind or not. So I don't know if I'm just bringing that up because I'm just negative about him all the time. But like somebody like Jungle Boy or whatever, or somebody who got Wild Thing.
Yep.
Mops.
Was it Wild Thing? And then Jungle Boy got the,
yeah. So that's cool. And everybody gets to do that. But I ain't even seen Jungle Boy on TV. You know what I mean? So I'm just saying, like, is it worth it? And the answer would be no. And I'm sure people disagree with that who love those entrances. But I don't think it's worth it.
Touch on how music helped you and Billy get over what, or was it the opposite? You got over, so your song got over.
Listen, go back and listen to the music. Like if you listen to the music without the, oh, you didn't know, and it's just a guitar riff and like, dun, 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 dun. It's nothing. It is nothing. There's nothing there. It's a drum beat and a guitar, a couple of guitars, maybe a rhythm and a lead, and like that's about it, man. And so it literally, I liked our music because it fit. Oh, you didn't know, your ass better call somebody. Fit
perfectly
time wise.
Yeah.
It fit time wise in between the guitar riffs. Like that's totally why I liked the music, and I think that's why the music became famous. I don't think it was like that song wasn't playing on the, it wasn't a chart topper before we said, oh, you didn't know on it. So I would argue that we made the song and the entrance.
How long was it playing before you added, oh, you didn't know?
The first night it ever played, I added that at a live event. Yeah. And that's why it like fit so perfectly. It was almost meant to be. And it was like the third song we listened to where I just thought like, that doesn't feel right. That doesn't feel right. I knew I was going to talk over it anyway. So I just thought, man, and then that one just so happened I could time it right with the guitar riff. And then when the music started, I could cut my promo. And because, hey, when I come out of that curtain, I got an opportunity to connect with you, and I got an opportunity to get over with you in your eyes so that tomorrow you go, you know what, that road dog said this, or that road dog did this. And when you're at the water cooler at work the next day, I want you talking about me. So I'm going to do something to make you talk about me. And like I've said it before on here, the music, I was going to talk over it anyway because it was an opportunity I had. I'm on your TV screen right now. Let me talk to you. And if I can say something clever or something entertaining, then all of a sudden now I've got you. You know what I mean? And now I've hooked you. And then I can tell you to suck it and you'll pop for that too.
Well, I was about to say, you did it, brother. Oh, son of a... Oh, it's a bloodbath in here. There's got to be a better way to get my dagger clean and shiny safely than this. This is what I used to deal with when I cut myself shaving before I knew about Manscaped. Thank you, Manscaped, for keeping my dagger slick and ready for wherever the night takes me. Manscaped is trusted by over 6 million men worldwide. Join the movement by going to manscaped.com for 20% off and free shipping with the code DOGG. It's time to end the days of shaving your balls ending up looking like a horror movie. So the folks at Manscaped have the perfect package for your package to get this done. The below-the-waist grooming leaders have a 4th generation performance package. Inside, you'll find the Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer. Incredible. I use it myself. They've got the Weed Whacker ear and nose hair trimmer. This is beautiful for all the holes. Liquid formulations and 2 free gifts, all with this performance package. Spooky season is here, and Manscaped is getting you set. Starting with their Lawnmower 4.0. Like I said, this 4th generation trimmer also features a cutting-edge ceramic blade to reduce grooming accidents thanks to their advanced skin-safe technology. Also included is the Weed Whacker, like we mentioned. This is the nose and ear hair trimmer and is here to whack your weeds and any goblins that come your way. Both Lawnmower and Weed Whacker are waterproof. In the comfort of your home or in wild waters, these tools are your best friends. Speaking of your best friends, don't forget to give your testes besties the love they desire with Manscaped's liquid formulations. First, the Crop Preserver Ball Deodorant. You put deodorant under your armpits. Why not put deodorant on your balls? And can't forget about the Crop Reviver. This is specially for Road Dogg. That gives the boys a boost. High and tight, my friend. Manscaped even threw in 2 free gifts for their Performance Package 4.0. The Manscaped Boxers, which I have and are super comfy, and the Shed Travel Bag, so you can hold it all together on your trip. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code DOGG at manscaped.com. That's right. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code DOG at manscaped.com. That's 20% off, free shipping at manscaped.com. Use the code DOGG. Slay your worst pubes and keep your dagger clean with Manscaped. We're still talking about it, so you got it over, my friend. Also, music, that's why we're doing this, is music's been a central part of your career. From originally singing, of course, With My Baby Tonight.
It originally was written as With My BB Tonight, but BB King had recently passed away. And so we couldn't, very well do that.
With My BB Tonight. Did you?
Bebe's kids.
Did you? Yeah, Be With My Baby Tonight. It's a different one.
That's a whole different vibe.
Did you ever think your musical talent would transform into such a big part, or was that just, was that in your head going, you know what, I really want to get music involved in my career? Did it just happen?
So it was actually the reason I got hired. Vince always wanted to sing in Cowboy. My brother Steve was Lance Cassidy, a very short run in WWF at the time, very short run as Lance Cassidy. And he was singing, and he was going to be a singing cowboy. And him and Pat Patterson and Vince had talked about that. That's what they were going to do. Pat loves singing too, by the way.
Yes.
Anybody that knows Pat knows that. So he took special interest in that. As soon as my brother wasn't there anymore and Jeff came up, they came up with the Milli Vanilli idea and said, hey, it was how I got the job. Was, yes, I had a wrestling match, but it was totally after I had sang songs for them, in the bottom of Lowell, Massachusetts building where they had the production meeting. Max Payne, Man Mountain Rock, and he played the acoustic guitar, and I sang Four Non Blondes. So I wake in the morning and I step outside and I take a deep breath. So I sang that song. I sang Stone Temple Pilots, well, the dolls are to find her, gotten down, wish for tomorrow.
Find
tomorrow. Yeah, to find yeah. I love that stuff. It was that time, you know what I mean? It was 94, I guess.
Yes.
And so I think that's the only songs I sang were those two. And then I went out and wrestled Barry Hardy, and the drop kick off the top rope that actually made some rounds on Twitter lately. I don't know why. It was my tryout match, and I hit a flat back top rope drop kick.
Come on,
that I'd never done before, and I never did again. And the only reason I did it was Brooklyn Brawler, Steve Lombardi, said, hey, when your brother was here, he hit a top rope drop kick. That's what he used to finish people with. And I said, okay, I'll do that. And I didn't think about how to do that. I just thought I'll do that. I didn't turn and land on my stomach or anything. I just did it and landed on my back like those Japanese guys do it. And I'll leave that to the Japanese guys, because this sissy American can't take that. And so I never did it again.
My favorite is that we talk about it all the time. You talk about guys and gals overthinking when they first start. And every time we bring it up, you're like, I didn't think of the music. I didn't think of the finisher. I didn't think of gear. You just did it. I gotta get myself over.
And look, what else should I be doing?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was a time when, yes, everybody had entrance music at this point, but it hadn't been that long that everybody had entrance music, and entrance music wasn't the thing just yet. Like you mentioned a couple that stood out, Warriors, but like you go down the line, you remember that music because of whose it was, not because of how it sounded. You know what I mean? So if you'd have heard that before you ever heard of the Ultimate Warrior, you might have liked that song. You might have liked Real American, but you love it now because of the Ultimate Warrior, because of Hulk Hogan, because of The Rock. You know what I mean? Listen to The Rock or Stone Cold's music. That glass breaks, and then it's just dun 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 dun. You know what I mean? Like whatever that was actually. I think that was actually NWO's music. I just played on my air guitar. But even them, it's just a guitar riff. It's nothing. It's not going to sell 1 million albums. It's not going to. You know what I mean? Yes, it can be really good, and it's when it is, it's really cool. But that's more of an organic thing where it vibes with the person than it is designed that way.
Well, talking about your music and a lot of the most memorable music that we know, we got to bring up Jim Johnston, who you spoke. I mean, everybody speaks highly of him. Talk about Jim Johnston. What made him so good at what he did?
Yeah, I think what made him so good was he did get to know the characters, and he was a great musician. Like, he could play anything and everything, and he had that musical gift where that's how he sees things musically, you know what I mean? And so he could identify a character really quickly and put together a vibe that fit that character. And so it wasn't like now we literally look at a library of music, and there's millions of songs in the library. So you go through what you think, okay, this guy's a Latino. So let's go to what we think Latin music. You know what I mean? You don't want a country vibe for it. You know what I mean? I don't think so, unless he's Jimmy Wang Chang or something. You know what I mean? Like, it's a gimmick character. But so you go to that, and then you go through those, and you find one that you go, and this is how we do it now, prior to them becoming an actual character in the process. We will come up with a library track. Once they get on TV and they start having a name for themselves and start being a character, a weekly episodic character, then we will go and have new music made. What Jim Johnston was really good at is he had a great eye for the character. And look, I don't think that's I'm not saying the people who make the music now don't have a great eye for the character. I'm saying it might be on our fault, or it might be the quantity of the content, that they don't know the characters, and we're just creating characters. And sometimes we don't know the character yet because we're in that evolution period of creation where we're trying to come up with the character. What would his vibe be? What would her vibe be? And so I don't think today's music makers, and I know the guys who make the music, and they're hugely talented, huge fan of their work, and they make good music, and they make it quick. But I think they don't have the luxury of knowing every character like Jim did. Wrestling was wrestling, and this is what the character is, and they used to tell you that. And sometimes that was what the character was, and sometimes it evolved into something different. The Rock Rocky Maivia was coming out with pineapples and stuff, and that it definitely evolved into, holy mackerel, this is the coolest guy in the world. And so then you would have to, okay, now let's relook at his music. Is it still matching what it was, or what he is now? And so it's a thing where, you have to, I don't know what the original question was, Casio.
Jim Johnston, how good he is.
Yeah, he was just great at the characters, and like, I think that my bigger point was he had the luxury of being familiar with all the characters. Right. So he had a musical inclination already of the vibe to put out there audibly, and he had the magic ability to do that. You know what I mean? And to put that out in a beautiful way. He's a great musician. He's a great guy.
You talked about the characters evolving. One of your other runs, you team up with K-KRUSH.
Oh, you didn't know? You better ask somebody. The D-O-double-G and K Quicks get rowdy. We're about to move some things. That's one of my favorite songs. So, me and Road Dogg with the drastic change.
Come on with it. I'm here. We're here for the whole thing.
Hey, I'm going to tell you, and I've said this before on this podcast, you go back and listen to any of the recordings of myself and Ron Killings, or myself, Ron Killings, and Conan that we did with our different entrance musics. They're good songs, and we recorded them. Like, I enjoyed, look, I think they're good songs. You might think they suck, and if you do, that's cool. I thought it was really cool for me personally to get to go into a studio with those guys and do some rap songs, you know what I mean? And I'm not the rapper, but those two, Conan and Truth, could rap. And so I would just do soundbite stuff in the songs. Like, I would just be a British voice in the background going, "'Cause I am the suntan Superman." You know what I mean? Like, and so I was like Echo and the Bunnymen. And I've mentioned them before because I think it's the guy's a musical genius. But go back and listen to that stuff, man. It's good. Look, it was good stuff to me anyway. If you don't think so, I got 2 words for you.
Skip forward. To the next one.
I thought I'd add promo here.
So here's why I bring it up. You you told us you're auditioning with rock, but you're kind of the singing cowboy.
Yep.
Now you have a country run, of course, Be My Baby Tonight and the whole deal.
Yep.
Now K-KRUSH, you're rapping. Is this staying up with the times, or is this you just having an eclectic musical taste? What's going on?
Look, it's not me doing anything. It's definitely me having eclectic musical taste. Like I told you that. Like I sang, I will literally sing the Statler Brothers, like the Oak Ridge Boys, and then I will literally listen to Amy Winehouse, to Move, B, Get Out the Way. I listened to that one before I got on here. I also listened to, like I said, Ray Charles, and just so many different. I love Alison Krauss and Union City Station. I think her voice is so beautiful. And then I love R&B and the blues. And the only thing I don't like is jazz. Jazz doesn't sound. Jazz sounds like
out there.
It's a little too out there for me, and I'm going to get some heat for this from you jazz lovers, and I'm pretty confident in saying I don't give a crap. I feel like jazz is music for people who don't have any musical inclination.
Oh no, you shouldn't have said that.
I shouldn't have said that.
No, you should have stopped with.
No, you know what? Fan. No, you know what? I stand by it.
Okay,
I stand by it. I remember the jazz flute. From Anchorman. The Aqualung. I'm just kidding. I just don't get. I'm just kidding. I just don't get.
If you're not watching, that was the dog talking about it, not Casio.
It's you and I sound a great deal alike, and so I just want to say I'm not sure who said that. No, it was a joke. I was being hyperbolic. I apologize.
By the way, we were supposed to do an interview on NPR next week, but they've canceled that thanks to your jazz comments. I appreciate that.
We were going to do NPR. Don't forget NPR. Don't forget.
No, if we're on NPR, we're on Prairie Home Companion. Okay.
Hey, it's got to be Prairie Home. Or you know what else is on there that started on there is Barnyard Builders, I think. And
Barnyard Builders.
Have you seen that?
No.
Oh, it's great, dude. They find I don't. It may not even be called that. I may be just making that up. And that's likely. But it's guys that find old log cabins and stuff and refurbish them, but make them still log cabins, but where they're not going to, snakes aren't going to come in. It's not going to rain on you. And they make them really nice. It's fun to watch those.
Snakes aren't going to
come in on you. Look, snakes are a big worry for me. I saw on the way over here, literally hours ago, ran right past like a 2.5, 3 foot eastern diamondback rattlesnake on my road.
How many times did you run over it?
No, I didn't. I went around it because it was on my road. It wasn't near my house. And like, I know how people feel about snakes. I don't believe in killing them if I don't have to. But I see moccasins down there on the road. I see all kind of poisonous snakes, copperhead. And so I think about snakes a lot. Sorry.
Is snake your biggest fear?
It's one of them, but it's also one of my biggest infatuation. No, not heights or spiders. I've rappelled out of hellhole helicopters. I've rappelled off of towers. One time at Quantico, we just flew over some water in a helicopter and everybody just jumped out of the back of it. And that's a true story. And you just, as you walk out in a line, you just drop, boom, boom, boom. And your whole squad drops. And then a Zodiac, one of them little blow up black boats, comes by and you just hook your arm on, 3 or 4 on each side. It takes you right to shore. It's like, nighttime land assaults and stuff like that. That's what you talked about earlier about my several lives. Like, that's what's super cool to me is like, I have lived a couple of different lives. Like, I got to be in the service. And I talked earlier about the picture with the Queen and eating the goat pee and the whole deal. It's all an honor. But it's also super cool to me. It's almost surreal sometimes that I go, man, I did that. And then I also was a superstar wrestler. And I was also a homeless, jobless drug addict. And I also survived a war. And I also, you know what I mean? It's like, I feel like I'm just saying, God, I'm good if it's my turn.
It's the definition of chapters, my friend.
Amen.
That is
Amen.
different chapters.
Amen. And they're very different from each other. It's crazy.
Takes all of them to get the book finished.
Amen.
We hit on some of them, but maybe just some that we haven't brought up. Iconic entrances over the years, just older ones.
Yeah. So look, we talked about the Road Warriors. I'd love to hear. Look, I'd love to say I'm a fan, but I was also in the business, so I don't know if I have the same perspective as a true fan. And that's dogging me, not you. But you were a true fan. Like, which ones are iconic to you? You know what I mean?
I mean, I think we hit most of them. Space Odyssey, like we said,
Yeah.
Flair took that over. I mean,
Man,
I
and
think
it was
if you've ever watched wrestling, you automatically think of him.
Yeah, I do.
Hogan, Stone Cold, Rock. Trying to think of some of the others where you're just like, that was the jam. I mean,
and
Pomp and Circumstance. I mean, think about kind of that now. If you thought we're gonna have you come out, you're like, no, we're not coming out to that.
I'm not doing that. I guarantee you, anybody heard that nowadays, they would go, yeah, I'm not doing that. And Randy took that to the top of the mountain. You know what I mean? And to this day, that's Randy's music. But we only know that because it was Randy's music. It would just be another like wedding walk song or something if it wasn't Randy's.
Talk about some of the newer songs. We've hit on some of those, but some of the newer current.
Like, look, I love, I dropped this a while back, so this is not a secret, but I love the AJ Styles song. You know what I mean? No, you don't want none. Yeah, yeah. And they played that for James Storm in NXT, the first time he ever showed up there. So that was his song that didn't get used. When AJ came in, it picked it up, and it was his, and it's awesome. And I love that song. I'm trying to think of like anybody's current, you know what I mean? Like I can't,
Randy.
I mentioned Randy, but I can't even, and I'm not kidding, I can't think of Roman's music right now, but I love Roman's entrance. I love the coming out slowly, and the Roman's cooler than Polar Bear drool. You know what I mean? Like he's just cool. So I don't know what his music sounds like, but it's probably cool. You know what I mean?
It also goes to your point. You're either over or you're not.
You're not.
And the music
it does not matter at all what is playing underneath you. I think Randy Savage probably said that best and first. And then Roman, I can't even remember what his music sounds like. So it might be awesome. But my point is, he's the most over guy they got, and I don't know what his music sounds like.
New Day, to me, I know them.
New Day.
If you hit that,
New Day is awesome.
You know it immediately that they're about to come out.
Immediately, and it's got the New Day rocks. They got the chant going. They got New Day's music is awesome. I actually, true story, New Day still laughs about this to this day, because it was my first thing ever going out and producing, and I went with them and helped produce the video they did with the choir behind them when they first came out as New Day, and everybody didn't like it. They thought it was too much positivity and all that. And it just goes to show you they're still the exact same thing. It's just now you love them. You know what I mean? It was when it first came out, it was the exact same thing. But man, Big E could cut that preacher promo, and to have an African American choir behind them singing, like, to me, I loved that. I really did too. I loved it. I loved the music. I loved the energy. I loved the positivity, and I thought it was great. I really did. And then everybody hated it, but not everybody, just the cynical wrestling fans. So really everybody that mattered. Yeah, it was really everybody that mattered. So then they kind of changed direction, remember? And they were heels for a second or so. Like it was just a bumpy road figuring out. They ended up right back where they were, but more of their own representation of themselves rather than how somebody saw them. And so they got comfortable with that. Therefore, it fit. Therefore, everybody got comfortable with that. But if you think about it, they've been preaching positivity and coming out throwing pancakes and positivity since, day 6. But day 1, they did the same thing and everybody hated it. 4 days, 5 days later, everybody's all right with it. So come on.
I just remembered.
Shimon.
You shimoned everywhere again. We need to put tarps on like we're at a Gallagher show.
It got in my nose.
I remember Miz. You hear awesome. You think of Miz.
Yeah.
But again, I was sitting there thinking, I don't know what the rest of the song sounds like. I hear awesome, and I go, here comes Miz, and
there
then
comes Miz, and it doesn't matter anymore. And so that's what I would ask people. And I'd love for people to go on Twitter, and you did this with the last one, but go on Twitter and tell me, because we're obviously missing some. You know what I mean? I'm sure from my perspective is different from a 20-year-old's perspective. And so I'd love for Twitter on the You Didn't Know podcast handle and me, be Brian Road Dog or RD James. I don't even know what my Twitter handle is.
It's at the screen. They can see it.
Yeah, that's underneath.
At Brian RD James.
Yes.
Brock, Shinsuke.
Oh, Shinsuke is awesome. Yeah, Shinsuke is a great answer too, because that's, man, to me, nothing's cooler than when he had that entrance at the takeover, and we had the actual violinist, and I forgot the guy's name, but he's a world-renowned violinist.
That was incredible.
Incredible, man. And it's just, see, that's Hunter's vision. That's Hunter's vision is, hey, this is a really cool song. We should get a world-class violinist to come and play it. Like, I wouldn't think of something like that. One, because I don't have that big a vision, but two, because I wouldn't think that would be possible. Like, it's not my money. You know what I mean? I can't spend 25 grand or whatever to get the guy to come play his fiddle.
You're not in charge of the budget, so you don't want to add on to it.
So I'm not trying to add on to it. But like, that's super cool. And Shin's music is iconic. Look, I would listen to Shin's music anyway, to be quite honest with you. And they have a Japanese version with words. That's pretty stinking cool, to be quite honest with you.
I'll have to check that out.
Yeah.
Well, two more, because we haven't hit them, and we're going to get buried if we don't. No pun intended. The Undertaker. Gong.
Oh, gong.
That hits.
I've stood
really
in the ring.
It's just a gong.
I've stood in the ring, because then it's just
what's going on?
You know what I mean? Whatever. I've stood in the ring for that blackout and the gong, and I've stood in the ring for what a rush. And in Chicago they played Iron Man because it was a live event, and so I've stood in the ring for both of those, and those were probably the two most goosebumpy, most fear-inducing, most oh God, it gets you in that moment, and it lets you know you're about to fight somebody. You know what I mean? Y'all about to throw hands, and you're just so jacked up you kind of don't mean to. I'm just hitting them like, sorry. Your music really gets me going.
It works for me too. What about being in the ring? Because I was at the Mania, of course, when Taker lost to Brock. But I think I remember, because I had my phone out. I think it took like 11 minutes for Undertaker to get to the ring. What's it like being in there for, hey, we got a long time before he gets down here?
Well, I'll tell you the truth, it's not quite the same. And if it starts the same way, that feeling vanishes quickly. But like, where I remember hearing it, that is the most iconic, was MSG, and MSG has a very short building, and so literally that lights all go out and they let it breathe. Like we talked about, letting that, in that darkness, nothing but anticipation builds. So you let that breathe. Gong. You know what I mean? And it's like, oh, I get goosebumps just doing it myself. But standing in the middle of the ring, man, that's one of the best ones I've ever felt. That one and the Warriors.
And before we move on, we got some fan questions, a couple other things we want to get in.
Okay.
We've mentioned him, but we have not mentioned his own entrance, Triple H, which is iconic in itself.
So I would actually argue he has had several songs, you know what I mean? To the point where when he's going out now on TV, they go, okay, King of Kings, are we going to do so-and-so? Like, you know what I mean? Which song are we going to play this time? And so he's had several, but that just goes to show it's not so much the music as the superstar, but the music sure is a happy addition. So what I love about Hunter's entrances are they're always magnificent. They're always like Like that one at that Mania when he was the Terminator, you know what I mean? And all those Terminators came up from the thing and like, holy mackerel. And I don't even know if that was the same one, but where they get on the huge trike that was a shoot that's really his trike that he has and rode that. Like his entrances were always iconic. And that's why he has the vision today to make other superstars' entrances iconic, because he sees things that way. And I think it matters. Look, I've been talking less about the music, and I apologize because that's the topic. However, I think it all goes together. You know what I mean? Especially with a hot entrance. It's the talent, it's the music, it's the video screen, it's the fourth wall, whatever we're doing, however we're doing this cool entrance, to have somebody come out in a limo and step out and to doctor it up, man, that's so cool. And you can't do it every time, but if you can have a pretty iconic entrance every time, that's the way to do it. I couldn't ever ride out on a tank every time, so I just cut a promo walking down to the ring. You know what I mean? I'm gonna get your attention one way or another.
Hey, real quick, want to give a shout out to James up in Stoneville, North Carolina. He's a friend of the show. Hell, he's a friend of the family now. We were able to go ahead and help his family recently save more than $1,200 a month. Really think about this. My man Robbie didn't save $1,200 one time. He's going to save it each and every month, all because he went to savewithconrad.com. He left us a 5-star review earlier this week, and he said this: from the first phone call with Christian, all the hard work Diane put in, Jennifer taking time to explain things and help me understand where we were at with the deal, right up to Steve helping me get this survey through, nothing but professionalism all around. Dealing with First Family has helped us to the point we've cut $1,200 a month off our bills. I can't say enough about the team Conrad has assembled. I highly recommend First Family to anyone looking to purchase or refinance their home. Thanks to Conrad and the entire First Family team. No, thank you, James, for the great review, and congratulations on saving $1,200 a month. And oh, by the way, you can skip your next 2 house payments. It's real, folks. SaveWithConrad.com can help you. We're licensed in more than 40 states, but if you've got credit card debt, if you're looking to save money on your monthly payments, if you're looking to pay your house off faster, or even buy a house with no money down, SaveWithConrad.com is your hookup. Holler if you hear me. That's SaveWithConrad.com. NMLS number 65084, equal housing lender. And oh, by the way, you don't need perfect credit. You don't need money out of your pocket. What are you waiting for? Find out how much money you can save for free at SaveWithConrad.com.
All right, Dog, let's get to some fan questions. You ready?
Oh, these are my favorite.
Michael.
Because I love fans.
You do.
Mine's on high. Mine's on high because I'm fat and hot. Oh, yeah.
Oh, buddy. About 30 minutes into this one, I wish mine was on one.
I'm literally sitting on my chili sleep. I don't even know if it's a sponsor anymore. I'm sitting on my chili sleep just because I'm so hot and fat.
What a genius you are. I'm just not thinking. Put it in the chair.
Yeah, no, that's what the G stands for, genius. What? It all comes around.
We had to get it in every time we said it. I'm going to start putting it on my couch so I can sit there and watch TV.
Yeah. Hey, it's not just cool. It's not just cool. It feels good too.
Yes. All right, Michael McClanahan.
It's like a bidet. It's like
of air. Bidet?
Yes.
No, it's water. You're right.
It's water. Yeah.
God, you are a genius.
I am.
You are.
You're welcome.
Michael McClanahan says, was there ever a time Road Dogg pitched to have a talent, either himself or someone else, use a different theme song or licensed music from pop culture that was rejected for one reason or another?
No. I can firmly say that because I've staked my claim on the music deal. I do feel like purchasing licensed music is a waste of time. I think not time. I think it's a waste of money. I think we have in-house people like Jim Johnston was the in-house person. Mm-hmm. Look, like everything, change is the only constant. So everybody goes, oh, we should bring Jim Johnston back. I don't disagree with that. I love Jim Johnston, but it's not like we're talking about a couple of iconic songs from that era. We're also talked about iconic songs from the era before. Was that Jim Johnston or was that somebody else? And I don't know the answer to that, but things change. We got a new group of musicians now that are great and that make music, and they'll continue to make music that vibes with other talent. I have never said, oh yeah, I would love to bring this guy in and play this music. You know what I mean? Like Again, I think it's more about it's just more about the talent. It's just more about the character and how attached to him am I. And if I'm attached to him, then I'll like his music. It doesn't even matter what it is. You know what I mean?
He also says, we've skirted kind of around it, but the exact question, he says, what are your thoughts on individuals who elect not to use theme music during their entrance? I don't know of many who don't have any.
I don't know. I don't know
music.
of many either, but I also think it's so weird now to not have it that it's kind of cool to not have it. Like if it matched my character,
right?
So I could see, say, a Walter or Gunther, coming out to no music because his presence, I'm mad. You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't need to I just don't like this guy from the get-go. And so if it fit my character, I wouldn't mind seeing somebody come out to no music. I just don't know. It's almost not acceptable anymore because our attention span is so short. Please do something while this guy gets to the ring. Do an on camera, do a promo insert, do something. Don't just show him walking to the ring anymore because I will turn the channel.
I think if you decided to come out with no music now, they'd cut the commercial.
They might
just come back while you're in the deal.
And I mean, look, it is that simple. Our attention span is not that long anymore, and I want to be entertained from start to finish. You know what I mean? Don't give me any downtime. And so I don't know. That's my feelings on it. If it matched my character, I could see coming out with no music, and it probably would work because it's so different.
I think Ciampa came out for a while. They're telling us.
With no music?
Yeah.
Okay, that would match his character, especially early on his character, where it was just an ominous, like he was
brooding.
Whatever the he was called some kind of horrible name. I don't know. I don't want to say it on here because I don't even know what it was, and it's probably bad anyway. But he was called like the killer or the psycho killer or something like that. And like it was like, yeah, you can't call yourself that, dude. But it totally that music or no music totally fits that vibe. You know what I mean? It's just a lack of space and uncomfortable silence.
Eros says, one of my favorite themes is the DMX Run DMC version you guys had for a short time. Any stories about that? Anything you remember about that?
None at all.
You just had it and it happened.
Yeah, tell you the truth, I didn't know DMX was in on one of them. But we should listen to that, maybe. Okay. They should drop a sound bite of that in there.
Maybe he means DX Run DMC.
I don't know. I don't know what he means. Crazy kid.
You don't remember the Run DMC version?
Oh, I remember the Run DMC version. And I remember Eros.
Everybody knows Eros, you know.
Everybody knows him. If you don't, I feel bad for you.
Pastor Tim chiming in. He says, best entrance themes. One of my all-time favorite themes is DX Break It Down. As soon as Chris Warren's vocals ask, "Are you ready?" Arena roofs blew away like a Category 5 hurricane just hit. Chris Warren is also remembered for performing the most notorious rendition of the unofficial theme song of WrestleMania, America the Beautiful, at WrestleMania 14.
So let me tell you this. I did not know who Chris Warren is. I know now that it was the redheaded guy that sang the song, I think.
Okay.
And I don't remember him singing any song to America. But I'm not saying it didn't happen. It's just like, hey, my girlfriend's in there. Yeah, a lot of people's girlfriends are in there. It's kind of like, look, a lot of stuff happened while you were on drugs, Brian. We'll get back to you about it later. You were fine. Go ahead. Whatever.
You're good. He said it's now edited out of future releases. Is that because it's so bad?
What is?
The him singing America the Beautiful.
Oh,
woo!
Probably.
Buddy.
Yeah, that's some Roseanne Barr heat right there.
It is. Pastor Tim also finishes up by saying, as a Gen Xer, I think it captured the Attitude Era perfectly, and I understand what Chris Warren and Jim Johnston were trying to capture in that era. My question is, do you have any memories of the backstage vibe after that performance? You just hit on that. You don't even remember it happening. Can you share any memories you have of Chris Warren's? Apparently we lost him way too early in 2016. Hate to hear that, but
I'm sorry to hear that.
You were not acquaintances with him at that time.
Look, I knew the guy, and we high-fived, and you know what I mean, or whatever other corny white people did, paged each other or something. But we were acquaintances. We weren't friends or anything. And so I remember we did perform with him one time on stage, or came out to them playing us out live. And then I remember we performed one time did we perform with Motley Crue? on Raw. Was it Motley Crue? I think it was Motley Crue. Yeah, and we sang, and that's out there. You can find that on YouTube right now of us. It was like I think it was Motley Crue. It could have been Poison. It could have been a hair band of other nomenclatures. But who is it? Who was it?
I don't know. I was impressed of you using nomenclature.
Yeah, the title nomenclature, because we used to say, "What's the nomenclature of the M16A2 service rifle?" Some things are born into my brain. Pretty sure it was 1998. I just came up with that top of my head.
That's how good we are.
Yeah, and we sang with whoever that band was. I think it was
the Chris Warren band.
No, I want to say it was Motley Crue that I'm talking about. And they were all sober and on probation, so we went on their bus to all get screwed up, and none of them could do anything.
I don't know if that was Motley Crue then.
We're gonna. Which one was?
They were girls.
Nikki
That's Six. Motley Crue. Was it them?
Yeah, that was them. It was them. You're gonna find it. You're gonna find the video in a minute. I can't believe one of our other people.
Oh, here we go.
Play it. Or not. You don't have to play it. I mean,
there's Billy.
Oh,
there's you.
Bro, I sing.
Y'all are having the time of your life. Oh, there we go. Live guitar.
Oh, yeah.
Nikki Six.
Look.
Mick Mars.
Look, I was jamming, dude.
Oh, you were slinging the braids.
I was slinging the braids. I rocked out here.
There's, I can't tell if that's me or Fat Vince Neil.
It was Casio Neil. But look, we sang with them. Look, there's a high five. So I told you corny white people do that.
A lot of leather pants on stage.
Yeah. Billy's mooning everybody now.
He is mooning everybody.
Yeah. He just show everybody.
There you go. Crotch shot for you.
I told y'all.
Look at you, man.
I used to be somebody.
The fact that we're in your presence right now is amazing.
Oh no, that's not true. But yeah, we went out in the bus and they were like, "Yeah, sorry, we can't." And we were like, "Okay, we're gonna go to our car then."
Well, we're not. So we're
partying. So I don't know what you're doing.
I did the same thing with Firehouse, Warrant, and Skid Row.
Yes, I know Skid. I know their brother Skid Mark.
Yeah.
Dad joke. That was actually a granddad joke.
Went backstage at House of Blues Anaheim, and they walked back. They had a whole table of different kinds of mixers and drinks, and they went, "Hey guys, none of us party anymore. We're all going home, but y'all have fun. See you," and left. And everybody went, "All right." That was it.
I don't need you to get drunk.
Yeah. There's a bottle of liquor.
Yeah.
All right, Bobby, KF5 GTX.
Oh, I love KFC.
He says, as a WCW fan of the 90s, my favorite entrance themes are NWO, Harlem Heat, NWO Wolfpack, Macho Man, what up, mate, Mach?
Ooh.
Oh, Goldberg, we forgot his kind of fit his walk to the ring.
Yeah.
Hogan, Four Horsemen, Jeff Jarrett's Kid Rock theme. And as for WWE, says New Age Outlaws and DX were my only favorites. Oh. He didn't have a question. He just wanted you to know.
He just wanted to tell me that he hated WWE except for DX. And I appreciate that. I'm not a huge fan of a lot of it either. But I'm a huge fan of it now because they are paying my bills again. So. But yeah, what was his name again?
Bobby KF5.
Bobby
GTX.
KFC. Hey, appreciate it, Bobby. And I like mine original recipe.
And now that we have his license plate number, we'll run it for warrants.
You shouldn't have chimed in. You shouldn't have come up for air, Bobby.
Dilly Lehigh says, where does the game theme rank all time for the dog? We mentioned this. It's up there.
Is this the one? Is this the game one? Is with the guy from Motorhead, right? Lemmy singing it.
All about the game.
Yeah, I love that song. I do. I think it's a great start to it. It's a great I think it's a good song that came along as Hunter was already over, but it gave him a little more edge, you know what I mean? And a little cool credibility too to have that guy sing your entrance music. That's super cool.
Is Hunter jamming that kind of music all the time, or did he just
All
think
the
it fit?
time? No,
Is
he's
it?
a metal head.
Really?
I mean, metal head. So metal that it's like, I don't know of anybody else that listens. I know of one other person, Gabe Sapolsky, who likes that kind of music. And I know, look, I know there's a huge market. I'm not being stupid. I know
Yeah.
a lot of people like the music, but I don't know any of them. So when he cranks his music, it's like, oh, I'm probably going to hell now.
People can hear this, right? Other people can hear this music.
They know we're supportive of their lyrics.
It's our favorite. Yambag Jones is back.
Oh, Yambag.
He said, does Road Dogg prefer bands doing theme songs or company created tracks? We hit that. You don't want licensed music. You'd rather have in-house, and then you kind of make it your own.
But look, don't get me wrong. I love when a band, like at NXT, we used to do it a lot, and that's just where my point of reference is a band, Poppy or somebody would come and play as the talent was coming down. And so Poppy did it for Io Shirai, and I thought it was super cool. Io Sky now, excuse me. I thought it was super cool. But so I like when a band plays live for a big pay-per-view interest. I think that's super cool because it's very interactive, and Hunter likes that as well. That's why he did it on several takeovers. But I don't know if that was the question, but I like bands playing live in the arena to somebody's music. I just like them playing their entrance music rather than like a popular song or something.
It gives it a bigger feel. It makes it seem like a big time event. We got a live band here to play for it.
Yeah, super cool.
Speaking of big, how about our big friend Conrad Thompson?
Well, let's talk about Conrad, because when you're feeling blue, sorry, that was the wrong segue.
No, hey, go to SaveWithConrad.com and you might be blue because you're in debt. How about that?
Amen. And he can get you out.
He's gonna
and
help
those gray skies turn to blue, and I gotta use the bathroom number 2. We've been doing podcasts all day, just me and you. I want to get the F out of here. I don't know. I didn't write, lost a rhyming technique. I don't want to get the F out of here. I love you, Casio. I want to spend all day with you.
Here we go. 3 more pitches. We've got 3 questions, and we're out of here. All right. And I mean, we can skip them if you just hate the fans.
I do. I'd hate these 3.
This ties right into our segment, our topic. Low quality music productions is the name of this feller.
Okay.
Or lady. They, them.
Okay.
Says, which theme song is your favorite of all time? And what song would be your dream song? Well, I mean, you got to pick it. So, you didn't know. I mean,
it's got to be mine. And that's just for me. It fit me. And all those other ones that I love and think are better weren't for me. So they weren't me. So they weren't the ones I liked the best. But look, I think all the ones we talked about that were iconic were iconic for a reason, and everybody loved them. You know what I mean? And I would join in that category. And I was joking earlier about hating you. I apologize. Even though you produce low quality music, I still love you and care about your feelings. Question number 2.
Matt M. Thoughts on the Brood's entrance? I feel like music and the Ring of Fire entrance is one of the best ever, he says.
Very cool. And he ain't wrong. But I don't really remember the music. I remember the visual of them coming up through there with a chalice of blood and how cool it was. And I would imagine, could I remember the music, it would be fitting. You know what I mean? It would, oh yeah, of course that was the music. And I would probably remember it then. But just to say, I'm a visual guy. I like what I see.
Look at things.
I'm a voyeur.
Brad Stanton says, recently, Matt Cardona made comments that NWA is ridiculous for no theme music. Do you think it works for them? Or do you think it's ridiculous, like Matt Cardona said?
No, I don't think it's ridiculous. I think it works for them because what they're doing is studio wrestling. And so there's basically no entrance. So what are you going to do? Hit the song for 7 seconds and then cut it off once he's in the ring? I think it works for them. And I also think, like I said earlier, it's so different that it might just be good. And so think about the length of the entrance and stuff like that. And then think, is it ridiculous? And maybe if some guy gets some music, maybe Matt Cardona will get some entrance music and he will be a groundbreaker there in NWA. But otherwise, Matt, shut up. For the love of Pete. Not you, Matt M. I'm talking about Cardona.
Right.
I already covered I love you guys. Last question. Question number 3.
No, that was it.
Oh, that
Brad?
was it?
Yeah, Brad did
was the
Matt
last
Cardona.
one.
Yeah.
Well, if you would just ask me a question real quick.
Do you love me? Check yes or no. Do you want to be
I love
my
you.
friend?
I want to be your friend. Let's hold hands. Let's go play in the garbage can. That's what me and my granddaughter I'll say.
Well,
I say, let's hold my hand, be my friend. Let's go play in the garbage can. And she says, Paw, shut up. And then it rolls downhill. I say, Matt Cardona, you shut up.
well, buddy, I am glad to do another one. As they say, thank God for good directions and turnip greens and Road
Amen.
Dogg, my
What
friend.
you ever had turkey neck greens? And so there's a
that?
place called Dinosaur Barbecue in Connecticut, and every time I go there, I eat the West Texas ribeye, which is a big old ribeye. They
Sounds
cook it
awesome.
perfect, and turkey neck greens, and it's the best greens I ever had in my life. Dinosaur Barbecue, trademark. But
What about poke salad?
So yeah,
I mean, I know you started singing it. Have you ever ate poke salad?
I have not. I don't think, but I might have. I don't.
I
know.
feel like you would have known.
Yeah, probably. Would I?
Somebody's like,
would I
"We
have?
need a bowl of poke salad."
It's like
Like,
eating
wait, what?
It's like eating Rocky Mountain oysters. You ain't forgetting that. You
Well, buddy-
might forget trying rattlesnake, but a bull's balls you're gonna remember eating.
You know how many times I've said that to me? That exact quote. I think that's a shirt, maybe. You never
Yeah,
forget
maybe
Bulls
so.
balls.
Hey,
Well,
I
buddy,
appreciate you.
this has been a fun
thank
one.
you guys. This has been a fun one. I appreciate y'all. The whole team as well. And for you fans out there, I got 2 words for you. Tune in next time. I'm sorry. I ruined it. I ruined it. We should probably just fade to black. You know what I mean? Like
Well,
we
no,
get
you-
old school where the circle just gets smaller.
Oh, the old
Just
fade.
face it. Yeah.
No,
I'm
hit him.
sorry.
Hit him with that question you always hit him with on the way out.
Oh, you didn't know?